Happy Saturday afternoon to you. Dr. Preston Ray Winfrey here. How on today are you doing? Oh, I pray that you're having a lovely week, that your week has been a strong week, and that you have not allowed the over concerns and burdens and the concerns that goes on in life to affect you in a negative way. You know, we live and we learn. And as we learn, we ought to learn to live. So I'm doing fine. I'm clothed in my right mind. I have a reasonable portion of my health and my strength. Got some decent energy. I have the activity of my limbs. It's been a great week for me, and I pray that your week has been a great one as well. Well, I'm here to just share with you another time from my heart to yours, and hope that, as always, something is said during this time that makes sense. I'm not trying to make sound, I'm trying to make sense. And how many of you know, in a day like today, we need some sense so that we can go and do what we need to do, and that we can be all right with the decisions that we make. I want to talk today from this subject. It's your calendar. It's your calendar, right? You know, every day we are allowed to rise from our beds. We should, right, with the spirit of thankfulness. We should be thankful because it's a new day, you know, and, you know, whether you rested well last night or not. Some say, well, you know, I didn't even sleep. Well, that's the beauty of midnight. After midnight, we're into a brand new day. And so for me, another day means another opportunity for me to get some things right. You know, maybe yesterday I didn't do so well. Maybe I got a few things wrong yesterday. Last week could have been lousy. But today is a brand new day. It's another chance for me to kind of figure some things out and think. You know, yesterday I did this, last week I did that didn't work. So I don't want to redo that. I think I want to do something different. You know, it's like bowling. We go bowling on a regular basis, the group from the church, and often say that I'm competing against myself. I don't compete against the others who's playing. You know, I trust that everyone is playing their best game. But I compete against myself. Some time ago, I purchased a new ball, and it took some getting used to that new ball. It wasn't a regular straight ball. This ball hooks, and I needed to learn how to use it. But more importantly, I needed to know how to use it so that I could play a better game. And so that's what I've been working on, and I'm proud to say that I am getting better at it. Well, let me ask you this. How many times have you made the statement, I wish I had more time to do some of the things that I really want to do? Well, let me ask you this. Who or what can keep you from making necessary decisions and accomplishments in your life? When you factor in this main reality, that whatever you put your heart and your mind into doing, you really can accomplish it. Have you noticed that? You know, I know that we set sometimes limitations for ourselves and say, oh, I could never go there, I could never be this way, could never afford this, oh, I have this dream vacation, but I know I'll never get there. Why would you defeat yourself before you even try? Nothing beats a failure but a try. And the reason why we don't accomplish things is because we don't put them on our calendars. Right? All of us have calendars. And so often others will put things on your calendar, right? And sometimes, and many times, we'll try and do all those things that others have placed on our calendars. And I've learned if you try and put something on their calendar, they tell you, hold it back up. Excuse me, this is my calendar and you can't put anything on there for me. People everywhere, I find them complaining about the shortness of time to get jobs accomplished. I have come to believe it is a result of mismanaging the time that is actually available to you. So many people have said there's not enough hours in the day. Are you one of those persons who've made that statement? Oh, I know you have. I've made it I don't know how many times. And even while making that statement, I thought to myself, this is kind of dumb, because everyone gets 24 hours a day, each day. And I believe I understand why a person may feel that there's not enough time in the day. First is they don't set priorities. It's like, shot arrows into the air and where they land, I do not care. No, you have to have some priorities. You have to have a target. What's your aim? What is your objective? What are you trying to do? Where are you trying to go? How much time do you have to get there? Are you pressed for time, or can you just cruise on and when you get there, you get there? So you have to set some priorities. A second thing is scheduling too much to fit in so little time. We try and just maximize everything and see if we can just microwave it, put it in, and hopefully things will turn out well. No. You can't do that, and be effective. A third is people don't take the time to get adequate rest and recovery, and they don't take time for reflection. Why are those things important? You don't rest, your mind is constantly going. You won't be able to think straight, right? You won't be able to really recover. You have to take some time and lay it down, sit it down. You say, well, but I lay down, I can't go to sleep, so I just read a book and I just look at television. Well, you can turn the lights out, darken the room, put something over your head if you need to, put your eye mask on, but take the time to lay it down and rest, even when you can't sleep. Fourth is that people often cram a month's of work into a little week, right? Now, figure this. You're going to take 30 days, sometimes 31 days, and try to cram it into 7 days. You do the math. 7 can go into 30, but 30 cannot go into 70. 70 can't go into 7, right? So you do the math on it. A fifth is they start new projects before they've really completed the old projects. I know a man, his wife says, he's great in starting projects. He's good with his hands. But the problem she has is he doesn't finish any of those projects. He just start them, and then he'll go on to the next one. And as a result, she said, my entire house is jacked up. You start a project in the living room, don't finish. Go into the kitchen, don't finish. Start in the bathroom, don't finish. Bedrooms, don't finish. And so the house is just a mess. 6, people don't take breathers between their projects. It's no matter how lofty that project is, you have to take some time in between projects. If nothing more, give yourself a good rest, right? Take time and just mentally unwind. And then a seventh thing is many people who selfishly think to themselves, but no one will rob them of the credit that they deserve. So instead of hiring or reaching out to others, they said, I'm just going to monopolize this. I'm going to do it all myself. And, we have to know how to relegate. We have to know how to, and we have to learn to be comfortable with sharing the load. Why break yourself down trying to carry a heavy load? Say, okay, well then I won't carry the entire load. What I'll just make 13 trips. Well, why do that when there are others who are available who probably wouldn't mind assisting you? So in his writings, King Solomon, he gives us a clear perspective on how we can and should navigate when it comes to marking up our calendars. In the book of Ecclesiastes, that 3rd chapter, he assures us that there is a right time for everything under the sun. If you want great nuggets of wisdom as it relates to creating your calendar and maintaining your calendar, you might want to read this 3rd chapter in the book of Ecclesiastes. Listen to what Solomon says. His first maybe 9 verses. He said there's a right time for everything. A time to be born, a time to die, a time to plant and a time to harvest, a time to kill and a time to heal, a time to destroy and a time to rebuild, a time to cry, a time for laughter, time to grieve, and a time to dance, time for scattering stones and a time for gathering those stones, time to hug and a time not to hug or refrain from hugging, time to lose, and a time to find, time for keeping things and a time for throwing things away. Ooh, did I say that? Which means we shouldn't be hoarders. Certainly your house would be less crowded if you knew to throw away some things. And just knowing to throw them away and not doing them, you're better off not knowing. A time to tear and a time to repair. Time to be quiet and a time to speak up. A time for loving and a time for hating. A time for war and a time for peace. Now, when I read that, my understanding of his writings in this passage is a clear reminder to me that the events on my calendar are important and that those events should not be scattered just all over the place without any meaningful consideration. I should be concerned about what goes on what date and what time. I should never trust my calendar in the hands of someone else who does not have my best interests in mind or in view. Sometimes people can tell you what, you need to do. In essence, they're telling you what they want you to do. And what about those times when they have these assignments for you, but it doesn't jive with what you know you should be doing or what you know you must do? And if you're like me, sometimes just to appease people. I said, okay, yeah, well, I can do that. Yeah, I can handle that. When I knew full well that maybe my plate was already full. And so wisdom says, stop and consider the fact that your calendar belongs to you. And listen, if it's left up to many other people, you may never be happy. You may never have time to yourself, time to do those things that, one, you need to do, two, things you should do, and thirdly, things you want to do. So, since to everything there is a season and a time under the, to every purpose under the heaven, consider these final thoughts, these eight things I have. First of all, take time to live, because that's the secret of success. You want to be successful? Learn how to live. Quit dying. Quit talking about one of these days I'm going to die. One of these days it's going to be over. Yes, one day it will be. But what are you going to do with today? So make up in your mind, you know what? I'm going to live. The second thing is take time to think, because it's the source of power. You want power? Think, process things. You have to process these things. Thirdly, take time to play. Children are successful in this area because they love to play. And what happens? We become adults and we no longer want to play. Everything is just so serious, just heart attack serious. No, quit it. Take time to play. It's the secret of youthfulness. And there should be some youthfulness in us. People say, man, every time I see you, you're smiling. You're always saying something humorous, making people laugh. Yeah, I love to laugh. And I do it unapologetically. Just about everywhere I go, I find something that is comical. And many times I'll share the comedy with others. Take time, number 4, take time to read, because it's the foundation of knowledge. The person who reads is the person who leads. Some people never read, never is a big word, but, so take time. 5, take time to laugh, because it helps lift the load. Laughter is good medicine. I tell people, laugh often. Think about some of the things I've said, some of the things I've done, and laugh, because whenever I need a laugh, when I'm looking for a laugh, I think about some of you all. And I'm telling you, it brings such joy to my heart to be able to laugh. Number 6, take time to meet new friends. You get friends by showing yourself friendly. Some people don't show themselves to be friendly. They always seemingly have this look of, I suspect somebody, and I think somebody's, come on, lighten up. Learn to let some things go. Yes, you've been hurt, but yes, also you have hurt. So take time, meet some new friends, because it will, and it can, and it will enhance your happiness. Now, happiness is a personal choice. And so you need some happiness within. Don't depend on someone else to make you happy. But listen, if you're already happy, then you give people the opportunity to enhance what you already have. Number 7, take time to dream, because it pitches the soul to the stars. You say, well, listen, what I want to do, where do you want to go? Aim for the stars. But if you end up on the moon, you're still on high ground. Right? And that's better than being right here on the ground. And then the most important, number 8, take time for God. Right? This is your only lasting investment. Solomon said this, remember thy Creator in the days of your youth, before the evil days come when you say, I have no pleasure in them. I think of so many people now who are up in age who are just miserable. And they said, oh, life just really sucks. And oh, I'm just always strained. And I'm always down. I'm always hurting. And oh, life is just so painful. I don't think that it should be. There are times, there are those moments, right? You know, I acknowledge that when we do hurt, when we do have pain, when we do wrestle with uncertainties. But don't allow those times to become the theme of your life. Take time for God. You know, trust in the Lord with all your heart. Don't lean to your own understanding in all your ways. Acknowledge God and He'll direct your path. Give God some of your time. You know, He doesn't ask for all of it. It all belongs to Him. But give Him some time. Serve Him. Serve Him with gladness. Come before His presence with singing and recognize that He's the Lord. It's He who made us and not we ourselves. We are His people, sheep of His pasture. So let's enter into His gates with thanksgiving and into His courts with praise. Be thankful unto Him. And what? Bless His name, because the Lord is good. His mercy is everlasting. His truth endures through all generations. So it is God who has given us a calendar. And it is our responsibility, once we understand what the Lord has given us, is to then take it, multiply it, take it, invest in it, take it, and use it for our greater good, while at the same time placing our trust in Him who loved us so that He gave us His only begotten Son. And He came that we might have life and that we might have it more abundantly. He brought salvation and put it right there on the platter and says, whosoever will, let him eat freely. You don't even have to pay for this. Isn't that the beauty of salvation? Aren't you glad that the Lord loves you that much? Oh, listen, I am. I'm so glad He loves me. Now, I don't know why He loves me. I don't know why He cares. I don't know why He sacrificed His life for me. But oh, I'm so glad that He did. So listen, I think that's it from me today. But I just want to say, remember, it's your calendar. It's your calendar. Make the best out of it. And if you do, I'm here to tell you, you'll be able to bask in the goodness of God, knowing that every day He gets sweeter and sweeter. Listen, this is Dr. Winfrey saying, God loves you. I love you. Have a rest of a good Saturday. And I hope that on tomorrow, you will find the time, you will take the time to be in the house of worship with other believers and hopefully some non-believers, and that you'll mingle and commingle, lift your voice in song and adoration to our great God who loves us so much and who at this time is in heaven preparing a place for us. And He said, if I go, I'll come again and I'll receive you unto myself, that where I am, there you will be also. So until He comes back for me, it's my plan to live. It is my plan to utilize my calendar and schedule what I need to schedule on there. You're tired, schedule some rest. Bags up under your eyes, you can hardly stay awake, put it on your calendar. Time to get some sleep. You know, you're tired of being indoors and you're bored, put it on your calendar. I'm going out of this house. and I'm going to do some things for me. Take a walk, take a ride, take a bus trip, hop on a train, go sit in solitude, enjoy the views. There are so many things that we can do. You know, I know we're living in strange times, but you know what? The Lord gives us one day at a time, and each day consists of moments, seconds, minutes, hours. So make the best out of your time. It's your calendar. It is your calendar. Dr. Winfrey saying, God loves you. I love you. Thank you so much for joining me, and I pray that the blessings of the Lord will continue to shower down upon you. And so now, unto him who's able to do exceedingly abundantly above all that we can ask or think, according to the power that he has placed in us, to him be glory, majesty, dominion, and power, both now and forever. Until next time, may the Lord bless you real good.